Hello, folks. Pastor Rocky Branch. Hope you're doing great today. Well, big shout out to all of our moms today, it being Mother's Day, and we ought to celebrate, of course, every day with our moms and thank God for them because they have carried the torch for us a long, long time. You know, our churches, without our women, would be in a sad shape. You know, one of the things I think about when I think about moms is I think about durability. Durability is a very incredible thing. Now, I can tell you about two moms that I'm very familiar with, three perhaps. Of course, my mother, Miss Jean Pittman, Betty Jean, if I will say. And then, of course, my children's mother, Miss Janice, Maggie, and then Janice's mom, Marie. Well, those are the three that I've been real close to over the years. I want to tell you about my mom for a second. My mom and dad separated when my sister and I were small children. And my mom hung in there. Now, everybody is trying at something, but my mom tried at doing her best in raising us kids. Now, we had some uphill battles because a single mom in this day and time, I'm talking a long time ago now, my gosh, 45 years ago. I mean, that's a long time ago that, you're fighting and trying to make it work. And my mom, I remember, would do whatever it would take. And I thank God for that because she put in me some durability. I know she put some in my sister. My sister's well accomplished and a great mother herself. You know, it's a wonderful thing to look back and to see, not when it happened did you really know about it. I mean, you couldn't really put your finger on it. You didn't even really understand it. But when you got older and you could look back and you could see what was done, how it was done, why it was done, and at least some reasoning for it, it was really incredible to be able to look and to see what your mom did for you. I can tell you that our children, Leisha and Aaron, they've got a fantastic mom with Miss Janice. She's just awesome. And I watch her and I live with her and thank God for her. Even now, she communicates over the phone with them. She's just incredible. My mom, too. My mom calls me every Saturday. Every single Saturday, my mom calls me. And at different times as well, but every Saturday. You know, it's a crazy thing to think about the value that our women have in our churches and how that God so loved the world that he gave his only son and he gave that gift to the world through a woman. I mean, he trusted the Lamb of Glory with a woman. Now, I don't know, he could have done that with a man. I don't know how a man would have handled that responsibility, but I do know that the woman, Mary, handled that responsibility great. She took care of Jesus. Of course, Joseph was there as well, but it's important to think about the value and the durability and the persistency that women have. It's kind of important. I remember an old story, and I forget which president said it, but he had 11 in his household. No, he had 10. Had 10 in the household. His mother made 11. And the teacher was asking the question about how many's in your family and trying to work a arithmetic problem. And he said there were 11 in his family. And she said, well, if your mother were to bake a pie and cut it with equal parts for every one, how much would each child get? And the future president of these United States said, we'd all get a 10th. And the teacher said, well, no, that's not right, because you said with your brothers and sisters and your mother, there's 11. You don't know your arithmetic. And the future president said, ma'am, you don't know my mother. See, mom wouldn't have eaten any. That's the way it is with moms. They have that special touch, that really neat way of showing us later in life as we look back and say, wow, how mom endured and how mom had tenacity and how mom just pressed on. Thank God that men don't have to have children. All the men ought to have said amen right there. Because I was standing by my wife when she gave birth to our two children. I'm going to tell you what, that's a difficult thing. But I thank God for his mercy and his grace, and I thank God for women. Thank God today for Mother's Day that we can acknowledge and celebrate. And we ought to do it more than once a year, by the way. We ought to let everybody know as much as we can how much we think of them. Now, very quickly, let me say this to you. Today's a good day. Today's a day that you need to make some choices. Today's a day that you need to make some decisions for the King and do what Jesus would have you to do. Today is that day. Now, you have tomorrow, if you live, to see it. Yesterday's gone. Today is the present. Today is a day of making some choices. What about you? What about you making the right choice today? And I want to tell you this much. God will bless you for it. God bless you. We love you, and goodbye.